How's it going? In the grafting shack here, it is 97 degrees in the building, and it's a nice 77 in this little shed in the grafting shack. Very nice. Got a couple little goodies for you today. Veils. I had my other veil. I love these veils with a plastic helmet. Okay. Got the plastic helmet. They last forever, guys. They last forever. I used to use back in the 80s. It looked just like this. They still sell them. They were like a burlap material with some kind of glue they put them together with. They're super light. Actually, they're lighter than this plastic helmet, but these are very light. And the other ones, they still sell them, like I say, but they, as you're sweating and all, you know, you're getting a couple rainstorms with them, they just start to deteriorate. But the plastic helmet, this thing lives forever. And I snagged, well, one I had, my other Tully veil. This is called Tully netting. It's 100% polyester. And what I like about it, they make some of these. They make some of these with mosquito netting. It's a black mosquito netting. Super, super tight weave, and you can't hardly see through it. This Tully netting, you can see through it nice, and it's quite tough, but I was walking by actually right behind this building here, and those briars, one was sticking out, and it grabbed me like a cat right in the face, and I didn't see it, and it hooked my veil and just put a rip about that long right where I need to be. And I had Miss Daisy sew it up, but it was a stupid bunched up thing right there where I was seeing. I used it for quite a while. It was just annoying, that thing sitting there. So I found this. I went online looking, and lo and behold, Hobby Lobby, and a little Hobby Lobby right up the road from me. So I went in there, and sure enough, they had this material. So I picked up a couple yards of this stuff, and I actually salvaged these strings, these nylon strings, out of the old one. And I had one around the border. A lot of these veils have a string, elastic in the bottom. Well, that's not good, because what happens, you put this on your head and the veil sucks up around your throat. Well, guess what's coming around your throat next? Yeah, bee stingers, yeah. But with this style, the way I've rigged it, I've got a double line here in the back. It's long. This thing is quite long, so let me just throw a quick tape measure on it here. This is a little overkill, but there's like 5 feet of cord here. So there'll be a total of 10 feet. You'll have a total of 10 feet of line just for the back tie-in, see? This is the very back, and it's right here where the girl sewed the seam up on it. There's a seam here. That's where you close it up. All right? At the bottom, I use one of these little string keepers, okay? And maybe the next video I'll show you how I put this on and all that. These you can make very simple, guys. They want $14 or something for these things, but they don't have them. They don't have them like this. This is a Stevo design right here. I've got a line all the way around. There's no bungee on the bottom. There's only a bungee at the top, you see here. Comes on and off real easy. On these helmets, there's little catches right here. There's 4 of them, 2 on each side. This elastic goes up underneath them, so it works perfect. The girls built 2 of them for me. Miss Daisy's girlfriend, I told Miss Daisy I'm going to buy a sewing machine. You are not buying a sewing machine. I said they're only $60, $70. Yeah, you're going to use a sewing machine for one time, and then there's going to set. She said, we've been together 40 some odd years, 47 years, and we haven't needed a sewing machine yet. And all of a sudden you need one. Really? I had visions of grandeur, guys. I was going to start making a bunch of these things. I really should. I really should. Anyway, I had a China woman down the road sew this up for me. I took her the material. I drew a diagram. I showed her each step how to put this thing together, guys. She totally blew it. She sewed the whole thing shut to where you couldn't even get a helmet in it. I drew out the whole diagram and actually took the helmet with a net over it. The other one I have is a, I've been trying to use it. You can't use that thing. It's a mosquito net, really dark black, super tight weave. This thing's got tight weave on it, but yet it's bigger than, no seams could come through this, okay? But you can see through this netting. It's great. You can see the egg. I had a heck of a time. I had to get in super direct sunlight to see eggs. Even in dapple light, I can see eggs through this veil. Okay. So anyway, yeah. So anyway, she said, "You are not buying a sewing machine." I said, "Okay. Well, what's the solution?" I said, "Any of your girlfriends got machines?" "I think Pam does. I think Pam does." I said, "Well, check with her." I said, "She could come over here. I'm going to take, and if you guys could build me these, I will take you both to Longhorn Steakhouse and we'll get a steak. How's that?" So anyway, she talked to her, and sure enough, she did. She said, "I'd love to come over and fix up old Steve." So she did. There it is. Now on the front end, you got a loop here. I make a loop here, and this string here, these strings here come down. They're in the back. They come over underneath your armpit, and they go down into my belt loop. Okay, you got to basically with this have blue jeans on. Okay, so you have belt loops. You pass one leg on this side of you under your armpit through the belt loop. It comes back up through the end. One leg comes up through this loop, and you grab the other one coming through the other belt loop, and you put on this keeper, and then you can just lean your head back and pull down and zip this keeper down toward your belly button, and all the extra cord I just stick in my left pocket. And now what's happened, you got this whole thing. It's nice. You don't put this over your shoulders. This comes down on the inside here, right, and on the back side. So it pulls it down. That's the beauty of this. You can pull this thing right down tight to your body. Those bees don't crawl up under it. The only thing with these veils, if you're in a windy situation, this can blow up on your face, okay? But I just usually, as I'm in there, if I got wind blowing on me and if the bees get a little testy, I just take my veil and just go like that. Pull it away from my face. And they don't zap me, okay? If you're working very vicious bees, this would not be the rig to go with. But for light beekeeping and calm bees, which I'm trying to produce a lot of calm bees, this is a pretty good way to go. I mean, I love this thing. And in this heat, guys, you don't want to be in a hot bee suit, trust me. It's just, if the bees don't kill you, the heat will, okay? And so, guys, you just got to be careful out there with this heat. This is the other one the girls put together. Now, Miss Daisy had some of this stretchy material here. This stuff worked great. It absolutely worked great. Now, the girls had trouble. On this one here, I put paracord for the long one and paracord for this one here. And see, here's the loop out front where you come up through. This netting is basically 24 inches up and down, and you're going to double it. You got to double it, okay? So you can have like 48 inches. It's just 24 by 24, but you got to double it to create this pocket. So the girls were having trouble. The girls were having trouble with, you've got to make a pocket, create a pocket here, see? And that's about 1/2 inch. Check it here. That pocket is 3/4 of an inch. They folded it over, and this stuff was springy. It was jumping out. and they're having a heck of a time sewing it. So you had to sew it. So you're going to sew all the way down this 48-inch length because you've doubled this, right? So you're going to have to lay the fabric out, double it over, and sew that 3/4 pocket all the way down. But they were having trouble with opening up, and I said, I got the brainstorm. I said, Miss Daisy, I said, you got your iron. Can you iron this polyester without melting it? And she said, yeah, I think so. There's a synthetic setting on that iron. So they tried it. Sure enough, it worked. It laid nice and flat. They rolled that 3/4 over, that seam over, and ironed it. Okay. So that works slick. That works very slick. Okay. So then you got to get your cord. This cord here is probably slips over. This I test driving it on that helmet, and you're looking at a foot. So there's 2 foot basically of this, and to pass it through, Pam had a clever idea. She took like a baby diaper pin, safety pin, and she hooked this material. Right, she had it snaking out here. Because you got to make this pocket, you got to create this pocket all the way down the 48-inch length, top and bottom now, top and bottom. But then you've got to put it together and sew this seam together to close it up, right? So what she did is took a safety pin and hooked it into this stretching material and closed the pin. So now you got a rounded head here and this hook to the tail. And she just started shoving it through all the way around. And she did that last. And she did this cord here last. And she just, you know, you hold on to that one end. This pocket here is opened up. So you've got a pocket on this side and a pocket here. Snaked it all the way through. And that worked good. That safety pin didn't hang up on this netting at all. But so I've got a backup unit here. If I ever rip that one, hopefully not. I had that other one for 3 years or so. And so it is working great. Throw these together, guys. If you know somebody's got a sewing machine, get you one of those plastic helmets or get one of them old style ones, and you could do it that way. You could actually probably even do it with one of those straw sun hats. You could put this on a straw sun hat also. A big old wide brimmer. And you could experiment too if you're ending up with this thing not being big enough for your size thing you're doing, your hat, whatever. Just increase the size. This stuff is so cheap, it's ridiculous, guys. I forget I only had like $4 or $5 in a couple yards of this stuff. And so it worked out fantastic. Alrighty, let's see what else we got here. Okay, the doctor said don't be getting out there humping boxes, Steve. Oh, no. You tear up any of my work that I did on you, I'm going to be really pissed. I said, no, dog, we ain't pissing nobody off. Trust me, no. A little puckered up on that deal, guys. Yeah. Anyway, so I'm thinking ahead, and I'm thinking ahead all the way to August. Yeah, I'm going to feel more comfortable, guys, getting back into beehives in August. Then he said I could get in the end of July. So, you know, we got a ways yet. Before we can get into. I'm feeling great. Everything's working good. All my plumbing is working good. Just did I'm going to do a blood test. He's already put me back on my testosterone. Loving this guy. And this new guy, and he said we're going to monitor you and get that blood work in a couple weeks, and then in a month I'll see him again. We'll review that and keep on a game plan, okay? But right now I'm feeling great. Like I said, everything's working good. I'm a little tender in the belly yet. Obviously, after 6 blowholes they put in your abdominal wall. That's coming along good. But anyway, I'm thinking ahead. I'm going to get a game plan going. I've got August pulled up here. I got this from my Pasco pest control guy. I love this guy. Old buddy owns the company. He's been dealing with me for years. And I love his calendars. He gives me a new calendar every year, and it's got all the fishing dates. See it on here? You got your new moon and your full moon. Well, old Steve-O, he likes to make queens on between new moon and full moon. And you're going to ask why nobody else on the planet Earth does that other than Steve-O. I don't know. There's probably other guys that do what I do, but it's just me, guys. It's just me. Anyway, I said, well, okay, I'm going to crank back up in August 2021. And I'm probably going to be the last graft of the year. I will fatten my bees up. After this deal, I will fatten them back up for winter. Try to make a little pepper honey and get these bees ready for 2022. That's what I'm going to, that's the program. All right, so I said, well, where is my new moon? Where is my new moon in August? Here it is, right here. New moon. Full moon, 22. From here to here is where I want to make these queens, okay? All right, so I said, well, that's my starting date. So let's back up and then let's go forward from this date, all right? So here we are. We want to graft on this day. And I pulled up here the magic martin wheel, okay? And I got here grafting right here on the 8th, which is the 8th, all right? This, by the way, is the best time to fish too, guys, and hunting too. You got 8, 9, 10, 7, 8, 9, and 10. That's some of the best hunting and fishing days. I've been doing this. My grandfather did this a lot. And I used to joke and kid to him a lot. Grandpa, oh, that's ridiculous playing moon games. He said, listen, son. I plant my crops by this moon. I harvest game by the moon. I fish by the moon. It works. And I just looked and kind of giggling, grinning at old Grandpa like he was, you know, like I knew more than he did, right? No, Grandpa knew what he was doing, okay? Anyway, so there's your 8th, and I spun the magic martin wheel over. See that instrument right there dipping out the larva? I lined up. That's on day 4, by the way, and it says graft larva. Well, I wheeled it over on the 8th. That's what I did, okay? Right. So that gave me my whole sequence of events here. So then I came down here and I said, well, let's back up. If I'm grafting here, I got to put together a cell builder. So I backed up and I came to August 4. Make up cell builder. All right. Now I'm going to leave that cell builder. That's going to be a fatty, guys. I'm going to need to make a 5-framer. All right. It's going to be full of solid brooding bees. Boom, boom, boom. 4 of them in 1 honey pollen. Okay, so you got 4 brood, sealed brood with bees in a honey pollen frame. That's 5 frames, right? You're going to leave those cooking in there. Well, guess what? It's going to be queenless. They're going to be going, oh my God, we got to get a queen going. So they're going to start cranking out cells. Sometimes I've had as many as 8 cells in these things, sometimes 3 or 4, whatever. 4 days later, 1, 2, actually counting that one, I'm going to come in here. They're not going to be sealed up probably until the 5th day, these queen cells. I'm going to go in there, I'm going to harvest these queen cells on Saturday the 7th. I'm going to make it up on the 4th. I'm going to come in this colony and harvest those cells out. And I like to take a little bottle cap, or you can take a little cup like this, what is this, a 3-ounce cup, plastic cup, and I cut it down. That makes your little petri dish, but actually soda bottle caps work better for this. And I'll take apart these queen cells. I'll just scoop them out. The same day I scoop all those out, cut those out, I'm going to slide in my queen cell bar into that colony. Now there's going to be Yeah, here's a cap right here. Here's a cap right here that I usually use. Just a soda bottle cap. And I'll put that royal jelly in there. I'll drop this in a little Ziploc sandwich bag and put it in the freezer. Alright, I'll harvest that jelly on the 7th. I'll also install cell bar. That's this guy. I'll install that. Alright? Alright, on the 8th, guess what I'm going to do? I'm going to come in here and graft. I'm going to graft. Yep, going to graft. Alright, then after that, I can pull this graft bar out. Alright, and what I'll probably do, and I could go ahead and get another round of queens. I could go ahead and drop in another one of these and do another round, but I don't think I will. I'm going to set this one aside. I'm going to set this, leave that, not going to set it aside. I'm going to take this colony and drop in a frame of eggs from one of my best colonies. And I'm going to write a date on the top, and I'm going to do a walk-away split on that colony. The frame that I took out to put this in, I'm going to put another box on top of that cell builder. Okay, I'm going to put another frame on top of that box on top, and move that frame that I stole out to replace this, the bar. I'm going to put this in its place, move that frame up into the top section, fill it out with planes on either side of it, and I'll put that right above this, that frame right above, so I have all that B-force right there over this cell bar on day 8. Okay, alright, we're going to come down the road here a little bit. We're going to come down here to 13, August 13. I'm going to pull that cell bar. They're going to be sealed up then. Guess where they're going? In this incubator. Alright, that frame that's up top, I can take that one now, strip off the top box, take those other 4 planes I had, put them back in inventory, move that frame that was up top downstairs where this bar was. Okay, that's what we're going to do. We're going to put that dude back downstairs. We're going to write a date on. We're going to get that frame of eggs in there too, by the way, on that date from one of my best colonies. And we're going to write a date on the top where there's a little switch on top of that beehive, right? It's an autopilot switch, and I'll click it. Click. Autopilot. I'm going to put a date on that box. 30 days from that date, I'm coming back to check that hive. So you're going to graft, you're make up your cell builder, you're going to harvest your royal jelly so you can wet graft. I wet graft, and I wet graft with a German needle, German tool. I just like it. Most guys are using these Chinese things. I use the German tool. I like to dip that larva up, bring it over, and set it in those pre-primed cells. Put it in that pre-primed cell. I just take a matchstick and I put 1 drop in each one of those. That's just enough royal jelly. I'll take that royal jelly, by the way, too, guys. I pretty much know how much royal jelly I need for these. You don't need much at all. And you just put however much jelly you got in there. I got an eyedropper full of distilled water, and I just put I guesstimate a dropper full, and I mix it up. That's your solution to prime these. So you put a dot in there. We'll take a matchstick and dip it in there, and go just dot it in each one. Get a drop in there. That works so good. You take that German tool, scoop your larva up, and just lower that in there, and it floats right off on that nice little pool of jelly in there. Alright, that's the way I roll with this thing. You can use these Chinese things if you like. Okay, get practicing with it, and go that way. Alright, so you're going to incubate your cells on 13. Alright, let's jump up here to 15. We're going to try to crank out 15 of these cells here. So there's a chance of me having 15 queen cells if I get 100%. Yeah, there's a chance of me having 15 queens. Maybe, maybe not. Maybe I'll only get 10, whatever. Whatever I've got, it is, you know, whatever hatches, it hatches. All right. Now, we're shooting for 15. All right. On the 15th, I'm going to split all the colonies. Now, these colonies that I'm splitting, they're all going to be 5 framers, but they could be double stacked. They could be triple stacked. What I'm going to do is go in there on this date, on the 15th, and I'm going to guesstimate how many ripe queen cells. And actually what we're going to be doing here is we're going to go all the way to hatch. So I'll be installing virgins, all right? That way I can look them over in the incubator and see which girls look good. If they're crippled looking, they're going to get terminated. If they're, you know, whatever, if they got bad wings, they get terminated. Any healthy queen, I'm not going to waste my time dropping these in and then having a failure, because I've only got maybe 80% tops of them coming back from a mating flight. I've got tons of bluebirds and tons of dragonflies out here now zipping around in this yard. So you know, if you get 80% with all that shenanigans going on, you're a lucky boy. Okay, so that's, you know, that's kind of how you play it. So at that day on 15, I'm going to take all these good colonies that are nice and strong, top and bottom, full of bees, okay? And she's laying top and bottom. I'm going to go in there and equalize those hives. Same amount of brood and food in top and bottom on the 15th, all right? That same time, I'm not even looking for, if I'm just shooting through there quickly, and I do this fast, okay? I'm shooting through this colony. If I happen to see her, that is cool. I can put her, I'll put her up top. I'll put her in the top box, because that's the one I want to strip off anyway, and move to another location. So, but anyway, on that day, I'll explain that in a minute. You're going to shove that excluder after you equalize brood and bees. Put the excluder in there, okay? All right. All right, now on the 19th, they've had plenty of time to, you know, plenty of time to where you can see that there's no queen either in the top box or the bottom box on the 19th. All right? There's plenty of time there. So, what I'm going to do then on the 19th is go back, and go in these boxes and find out where the queen is. I'm not looking for the queen, guys. I'm going to remove the hives with the queen and add a box. I'm going to move her to another site, another location in this yard. I'm leaving the queenless portion on the existing stand because I'm going to be working in the middle of the day. All these bees will be out. All those bees are going to come back into this queenless hive, okay? Mama and her box is getting moved over somewhere in this yard. And I'm going to add a box to her. She's going to need elbow room. Don't mess around and not give her elbow room, because she could swarm on you, all right? All right, on the 20th, with this scenario, with me grafting here, we should be hatching on the 20th, okay? So by me doing this move over here, now these bees in this box don't have a queen. They've been queenless for 24 hours. I'm going to take my newly hatched queens that should have hatched on the 20th. They may hatch here, but that's fine. They may hatch here in my incubator. That's fine. Then what I'm going to do is install these new virgins in the nuke on the 21st, right here, guys. Now, anything that say if I run out of queens and I've done a whole bunch of splitting with this excluder program, and I come back here, I can go to another hive. I will go into this colony, and if I like what I see with this colony I'm splitting, I won't worry about if they're starting to build cells in here. But if I have the good queens that I want, I will go in here and terminate all the cells that I see on the 19th. I would take a hive tool and crush them. because if I've got plenty of virgins to go around, and I will know pretty much on the 20th, these girls will hatch out, and I'll just feed them. They're going to be put up. They're going to be put up in California minis. I'm going to take the cells off of this bar here and put them in these cups. I have a special frame in this incubator. I'm going to drop those cells in here. I'm going to let these virgins hatch off in here. As soon as they hatch off in here, I can take this off, take her out of the incubator and put my thumb over here and grab a cell, a queen cell, and use it as a plug, like so. They go back in the incubator. I feed these girls twice a day. Twice a day. I have a little bamboo skewer here. Right here it is. I got my Martin nap honey in there. I dip it in. By the way, Martin, that honey, I just pulled it out yesterday, and it was about totally crystallized. That's some pretty honey you got there. So I went in this morning, put it in a pot, and I completely liquefied it. And that metal cap that was on there, it was starting to get some rusty action. It was going down in the honey. I didn't like that. I got that rusty stuff out of that honey, and I put on a plastic, one of my plastic caps, feeder caps, because that's a wide mouth. And anyway, it's back in here in storage. So that honey stays warm in this incubator, guys, and my distilled water stays at 93 degrees also in here. So I have food and water to feed these virgins as they go. So I could be feeding these virgins for several days until I'm ready to go with this. The object here, guys, is that I remove the hives with the queens, but when I do that, I want to give them a 24-hour span before I introduce virgins, okay? So this, guys, gives you a little schedule here, utilizing the Martin wheel, okay, or the DC Gadget wheel, which is the same wheel, okay, same one. So you can get this from DC Gadgets. He gave me this as a gift. Thank you very much, sir. And then Martin gave me that as a gift because he felt sorry for me because I'm getting to be an old man and I can't see well. No, I can see pretty good. Alright, very good, guys. This is my little schedule. This will probably be the last graft of the year. Hurricane season's coming. I'm gonna have Elsa. What is it, Elsa? Elsa. She's starting to come. She's starting to build up now. She's gonna come flying up into the Gulf. She's the first one out of the box. Yeah, there's no telling how many more we're gonna have. This gets interesting here in Florida. Yeah, it can get crazy, guys. So hang on for the ride. And I will see you guys soon. Thanks for hanging in with old Steve-O and your prayers. It means a lot, okay? It means a lot. And thanks for subscribing to my channel. Hopefully you can learn a little something from the old man here. And we'll just catch you on the next one. I got one coming up tomorrow. Food is medicine, as I'll name that one. Food is medicine. It's a pretty good trick, guys, and I'll catch you later. Be happy, be strong. We got to keep getting her on. See ya.